Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really powerful philosophical text that honestly asks us to rethink everything we know about ourselves and our place in the cosmos. Right out of the gate, the source material hits us with this massive idea. It's a statement that feels both ancient and super modern, and the text says it's something echoed by mystics and even quantum physicists. And really, this one powerful idea is what the whole explainer is built on.
So, what does that actually mean, you are the universe? Well, the core argument here is that we're not just these separate little beings who showed up by some random chance. The idea is that we are eternal, inseparable parts of one single, unified consciousness. The very consciousness that actually created the universe. And it goes even deeper. The text says you, the real you, were there before the beginning of creation. And while, yeah, our physical bodies are temporary, our true essence is indestructible. So the whole journey of life isn't about becoming something divine, it's about remembering that you already are.
Okay, so that raises a huge question, right? If we're all part of this incredible, eternal whole, why does life so often feel so small and separate and just full of anxiety? Why is there so much conflict? Well, the source argues that we've simply been taught to forget who we are.
To explain this, the author brings up the Eastern concept of Maya, and they use this fantastic analogy. Picture yourself in a movie theater. You get so completely lost in the story. You're laughing, you're crying, you're on the edge of your seat that you totally forget you're just watching light on a screen. The source says that's exactly how the material world works. It feels so real, we forget the bigger picture. And while the outside world is creating this illusion, our inner world is often just as chaotic. The text calls this the monkey mind, that relentless inner voice that just never shuts up. It's constantly jumping from a worry to a judgment to a memory, and the author argues most of us are completely oblivious to the fact that it's running our lives. And this state of forgetting gets reinforced from the day we're born. The source points to common phrases, like the ones you see here, as the very things that build our sense of separation. We're taught to bottle up our emotions, to build walls between us and them, and to see a judging God out there instead of a loving universe within. So what's the result of all this conditioning? Well, we end up living on autopilot. The author points to science that estimates a staggering 90% of our mind operates unconsciously. Think about that. It means the vast majority of our reactions, our thoughts, and our behaviors are being driven by programming we're not even aware of. But here's the really hopeful part. We are not stuck. The text frames this journey back to ourselves as tending your inner garden, and it gives us a really clear set of tools to help us pull out all those weeds of conditioning and rediscover who we've always been. So, how do you tend this garden? The source lays out 4 core practices, and it's not about complicated rituals. It's about these simple but powerful shifts. Learning to master your mind instead of being controlled by it, using meditation as the key to go inward, treating your body with respect, and, wielding kindness as your greatest strength. And what this does is it creates this crucial shift in focus. We stop chasing that external happiness, the new car, the promotion, which is always temporary and always leads to those crazy highs and lows. Instead, we start to cultivate an internal peace, which is permanent, unconditional, and it builds this incredible resilience. I just love this quote from the source. It's not promising a life with no problems. Look, bumps in the road are going to happen, but these practices, they act like shock absorbers. They allow you to navigate life's challenges with a sense of grace and balance, instead of getting thrown off course by every single obstacle. So, we've talked about the personal journey, but the text makes a much, much bigger claim. This inner work doesn't just change you. It actually has the power to change the entire world. And the author points to actual scientific studies of meditators to back this up. Our normal state is reactive. Our brains are firing in these high beta waves, flooded with the stress hormone cortisol. But through practice, we can shift to an aware state. This is where you see coherent delta waves, a brain pattern tied to deep healing, and our bodies produce melatonin for relaxation. We can literally reprogram our own biology from chaos to peace. And this is where it all scales up. The source argues that the world's big problems, war, greed, corruption, they're not really external issues. They are a direct, collective reflection of the chaos that's happening inside each of us. If you want peace on Earth, it has to start with peace inside of you. The author also gives us this surprisingly optimistic view of our collective timeline. They claim that while a lot of people thought humanity was doomed, we actually passed this critical turning point back in 2012. And what we're all feeling now is described as a great dusting. Yeah, it's messy, but it's this necessary process of light exposing all the darkness to clear the way for a much better future. Now, that might sound like a stretch, but the text brings it right back to quantum physics. The idea is, because we are all interconnected in this one single field, when one person changes their own consciousness, when they find that inner peace, it sends a ripple effect across the entire system. This makes your personal journey profoundly important. You're not just some random person trying to feel a little better. The source frames it like this: you are an absolutely essential piece of a grand cosmic puzzle. The entire picture of humanity's awakening is literally incomplete without you. So, we come full circle, right back to that huge, radical idea from the beginning. The entire journey, all the meditation, the kindness, the self-discovery, it's not about becoming something you're not. It's simply about remembering what you have always been. And in the end, the text just leaves us with this. It takes this whole cosmic philosophy and boils it down to a deeply personal choice. The knowledge is there. The tools are available. The potential for transformation is right here, right now. You hold the key in your hand. The only question left is, will you open the door?